As I was arriving to the U.S., because I take the bus over here, and it stops in Burlington, and I was just overhearing a conversation. There was this little blonde girl who was talking, I think, to her boyfriend. I don't know. So, a cute little girl, a little blonde girl talking to her boyfriend, and she said something. The boyfriend mentioned that Doug Ford legalized drinking beer in the parks. He had mentioned that. And I was just overhearing the conversation. I wasn't involved in it. I'm just overhearing it. My phone was dead, so I couldn't listen to my music, so I'm just eavesdropping. And the girl says, "Yeah, I heard about that. It's so stupid. All the dude cares about is alcohol. I'm a student teacher, and my hours have been cut drastically because of his cuts. He's an asshole, this and that." And the boyfriend's like, "Yeah, I know it sucks, but I'm gonna take advantage of it." And I thought about that, and it just reminded me of what I was saying back in 2015 and 2016 and 2017 when people were jumping up and down and swinging on vines for Justin the tacky-headed Mackdaddy, son of Satan, quasi-Zionist, son of a trashy mama Trudeau, when he had been elected and he was promising to legalize weed. Everyone was saying, "Oh, weed is finally being legalized. We can smoke it up. We can toke it up. We can just jive and smoke our grass all up and down. We could smoke it in the police's face. He can't do nothing about it. It's hallelujah, boom shakalaka goes right there." And I was saying, look, the Mac Daddy, and I support the legalization of weed now. I used to not support it. Now I support it. Has a lot of health benefits and everything, and besides, it's harmless enough where adults should have the right to do what they want without the law saying you can't do that. But I was saying, and I still believe this today, that the Mac Daddy has. There are people, natives, living with poisonous water. You've got Canadians out west losing their jobs left, right, and center. Calgary has become a dustbin of unemployment. Everybody, all the people just sitting up there on the side of the corner, drinking alcohol, desperate, destitute. People killing themselves out there, angry, hostile, suicidal, depressed out there. Oshawa, the plant closed. Nobody lifted a finger. Things are a mess, and he's giving billions of dollars of our tax dollars to other nations. He's involved in scandal after scandal. The nation looks like a laughing stock on the world stage, but all people care about is weed. And I said he's turning us into a bunch of, people just inebriated on weed. We're just being a bunch of unemployed, uneducated weed heads, and sexually obsessed weed heads at that, because that was the time when the whole sex education thing was all ramping up. I made a video saying, I don't know if anyone who's been around long enough to remember that video, where I said Canada is becoming a nation of I can't remember the phrase I used. Pot addicted, sexually obsessed, unemployed losers. That was the title of the video. And what I realize is that the thing is with Doug Ford, and I still support Doug Ford. I mean, the Mac Daddy couldn't hold a candlestick to Doug Ford. I mean, I've criticized him, yes, on certain things. I've said that he could be finding savings a lot easier if he'd follow my method instead of just slashing and burning like that. But he said no compared to Justin Trudeau. I mean, come on. Really, a 2-year-old could be better than him. But I just thought, look, it seems that Doug Ford, with all this beer talk and alcohol and this and that, it's the same thing in Ontario. All these cuts, teachers getting their hours cut, student teachers getting their hours cut, people losing jobs, all this stuff. Some of these jobs really are worthless to begin with. But I'm just saying, it seems the big passion is alcohol. the big passion is alcohol, and I've noticed that too. It's like every time something to do with alcohol comes out, it's like the Ontario government makes a big thing of it. Buck of beer, this and that. Drink in the park. Drink all everywhere. I mean, honestly, I don't want people. Really, I don't feel comfortable with people drinking in the park, especially white folk. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Look, I'm not. No racism here. No racism. No racism. Peace. Peace. White folk can't handle their liquor sometimes. I mean, just it's honest. Black folk too. Black folk, their thing is drugs. When black folk take drugs, man, they just go crazy. But when white folk drink, man, I used to live in Hamilton, man. Man, when white folk drink, they just go crazy. And then you're gonna drink in the public, man. Lord have mercy from Zion, help us here. But and I'm just kind of half kidding here. Alcohol and drugs affects people no matter their race. I'm just kind of kidding. I'm just trying to make a light observation of world views that I've seen. But the thing is that our politicians are only seem to get excited when they are trying to inebriate us. And I just think that that's very strange and a bit suspicious. They think it's a triumph. Like, look, Lyndon Johnson back in the 60s, his big triumph was sending people to the moon. Ronald Reagan's triumph was tearing down the Berlin Wall and uniting Germany and ending the Cold War and destroying the Soviet Union. Roosevelt's big triumph was the New Deal and defeating Hitler. Justin Trudeau's triumph is legalizing weed. I mean, getting people high. Canadians high as a kite. Like, that's his big triumph. When the history books are written, it's going to be Justin Trudeau legalize weed. And you're going to see a picture in the textbook of some dude with some long hair doing this. And some woman. I mean, that's it. Why is it that our politicians think it's a triumph when they're inebriating our population, our people? I think it's a bit insulting, actually. And I think there's a method to it. You smoke your pot, drink up your beer, get drunk, get high, have a good time. It's okay. You don't have no job. You don't have any investments. You have no education. You got a bunch of different people coming on all over the world, taking your jobs and everything. And, you're just there, It's weird. It's very, very strange that these guys would think it's a triumph. And I think that instead of celebrating these things, I think we should be a bit insulted. I think we should write our leaders, our members of parliament, our members of provincial parliament. We should speak to the media and we should say, look, we appreciate the fact that you're going to loosen up the weed laws and the beer laws and all this stuff. But stop making this like it's a triumph, because we are a proud people. We're a proud nation. Our nation doesn't run on being inebriated. And I think that they're trying to do this so that we are distracted from all the ills that are going on with the nation. I think that's what's happening. They're trying to inebriate us, to distract us, so that we don't pay attention to what's really going on, because some serious stuff are about to happen. You see what's happening with social media, YouTube, the big tech industries and all this stuff. They're really clamping down on us. And our freedoms are being taken away. Look at the internet, an entity which was created to have more freedom, and it's being censored. And people aren't paying attention. The Bilderberg meeting just took place. Very secretive. Everyone was acting very suspiciously. And nobody's paying attention to it. But, the Raptors game is on. So that's another distraction. Tell our leaders to stop. We can make our leaders understand what we are feeling and we're on to them, you know? If we don't decide to stand up and say, look, you know, this is not some victory here. You legalize weed. Okay, big deal. You do that. You know, we're not going to reward you with bigger poll numbers. We're not going to reward you by celebrating. We're actually going to say we're suspicious. If we do that, I think they'll start understanding that their little plots of inebriating the whole nation isn't working. Because I think that's what they're doing. Who doesn't think that's what they're doing? Come on. Come on, man. It's on the left and the right, too. Buck a beer. Drinking in the parks. Weed legalized. All this stuff. And I don't even think it's legalized to begin with. I think it's actually more stringent than it ever was. Because here's the thing. It's legal. But now the punishments for selling it independently are even more stricter than they ever were. And the weed apparently isn't all that good. I don't know. I've never done it. But I hear the government weed is basically dust. It's dust. It's nothing. That's what I've heard. People still go to their dealer somewhere, and I don't know where, and get it. You know, because I hear it's better quality. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I've heard. So it's not even legalized. And those dealers better watch out. Because the government wants you to. I think if they're going to legalize it, they should legalize it fully. You know, don't play games with this. Let everybody sell it. Do it like how it is now with beer in America. Sell it anywhere you want. Just legalize it fully. But stop trying to use the populace to vote for you. Actually, you know what? My message is this. For the populace, stop voting for politicians based on their promise to get you more inebriated. When they give you a promise that you're going to legalize weed or this or that or whatever, beer, whatever, you need to say, that's not going to get me your vote. Jobs are what's going to get me your vote. How fixing roads is what's going to get me your vote. Fixing the transit system, that's going to get me your vote. Keeping my community safe is going to get me your vote. Don't come to me with how, I'm going to legalize weed now, come vote for me. No, that's not going to get me your vote. If that's all your campaign is run across, I won't touch you with a 10-foot pole. That's what you should say. That's the message I think the people should give. Stop getting excited over being a drunkard or a stoner, because that's a method the system uses to keep you distracted, and it's wrong. So that's all I have to say about this issue, and politicians need to stop doing it too. Stop basing your whole legacy on inebriating the public. This is the Rana Nation. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to donate. We really want to get those donations pouring in. They've already started pouring in. I want to start opening up a new website. I'd like to have my own a better, good quality microphone. I've seen some nice microphones out there. Some the professionals use this. Radio people use this. All this. I want to get something like that. Cameras, all that stuff. Lighting. So, donate. You are the foot soldiers. Don't be a part of a nation and beg and ask for things and don't do your part. It's like being in a nation, a country, and people are like, "Oh, I want you to fix the roads," but they don't want they don't want to pay the taxes. Hey, how is the road going to get fixed if you don't pay the taxes? It's going to stay the same way. So that's how it gets done. This is the Nation.